Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel. My name is Luis Portelles, and for today's video, we have a brand new episode of Extraordinary Talks. And I am beyond excited for today's episode because I have a very special guest. It's not a beauty queen, it's not a singer, an artist, but it's a team member of one of the fan favorite candidates of Miss Universe Philippines. Judging by the title of the video, you know that I'm talking about Nico Nava. He is considered to be Katrina Dimaranan's handler, but his official title is Creative Project Manager. So if you want to know what all of that involves, but also get like an insider scoop into Katrina's entire journey, preparation, and expectation of the Miss Universe Philippines experience, then stick around for this interview. As always, what I'm going to ask from you is that if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like so that it gets recommended to more people. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. And last but not least, let me know in the comment section, what did you think about the entire interview, the journey, the questions, the answers, anything that you want to talk about, just go for it in the comment section. All right, everyone, so I won't keep you waiting for too long. I'll see you with Nico right after the intro.
Be strong.
Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Extraordinary Talks. And just like I promised, we have the amazing Nico Nava. How are you, Nico?
Doing good, Luis. Thank you so much for having me in here. I am doing wonderful. I got my coffee, and I'm all ready. I'm so happy to see you.
Oh, honestly, it's an honor to have you here with us because we've been planning this for a while and it's finally happening. And I know that this is gonna be a fun conversation, but also filled with, a lot of substance and tea.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
Did I say coffee?
We got fine. Cheers.
Yes. So, Nico, can you tell us a little bit? Obviously, you are a very important person in Katrina's life, but also you have a very interesting background. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Nico Nava. I am Katrina's best friend and also her handler, but more like I prefer the term right hand in terms of her journey for Miss Universe Philippines. I was also a large part of her journey for Miss Supranational USA. I am based in Los Angeles and also in Boston, and also doing some projects in Manila and also in Bangkok. In terms of professional background, I am a certified project manager. I have a bachelor's degree in public relations and also a master's degree in project management, and also currently working on my MBA.
Oh,
Just trying to flex in there.
impressive. He's Mr. Worldwide, but also like you're doing everything. Like, how do you find time to do it all?
You know what? The answer is here in this cup right here.
So Nico, if you have been with Katrina for a while, obviously, can you tell us a little bit about how you met her and how your friendship started to begin with?
Sure, yeah. I met her when I was doing Miss Supranational USA. So I was the event director when we were organizing the event then. The event was we appointed Katrina at the time, and that's how I met her. And then we were doing a TV show launch for ABS-CBN International then. And the first time I met her, we were like, I think I know you. And like, oh, I think I know you too, because we've been chatting for such a long time. And then like instantly we just clicked. And then when she went to Poland for Supranational, I was always like on the phone, like ready to help her wherever I can. And we just became like really good friends then. And then we went to Philippines together, like, and then we always like talk. So yeah.
So cute. And how do you turn a friendship into a professional relationship as well? Because then you met her, you kind of like bonded with her, but when did you decide that maybe, we can work together and we have like a good vibe?
Yeah, I mean, if you meet Katrina in person, she has this. She's intimidating, like honestly, like, and I don't like if I see people saying like, "Oh, she looks in Tagalog," it's like mataray, but because she's tall, she's beautiful, and like she's so professional when she talks to you, and like, she's very like she has this like really good personality, and I love that, and like I'm a professional too, and I sort of like in tune with that sort of energy when I was working with her professionally, at first it was more of like, I'm challenging you to do this, and she's gonna challenge me back to do this. And so it became like much more of like a relationship of, professional relationship becoming like really good friends of just, then we're throwing like jokes, inside jokes here and there. And what I learned is that that's just how she works, literally. And she makes you feel like so comfortable, but at the same time, she respects your capabilities and also your talents and your skills in what you do because she's coming onto you because she wants to work with you and collaborate with you. And
Yeah.
you know, and then having that conversation every time and every day, like you're inspired by her, at the same time to know that you're inspiring her. It's like, what? Are you me? Like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, girl. I got you.
It only makes sense to see you both together because honestly, I had the opportunity, of course, to interview Katrina. And by the way, thank you because that was through you that I was able to get that interview. And I remember I was telling you about this earlier, but I remember that the first time I met her virtually, I was just like starstruck and I was like shaking under the table. Like honestly, it was so intimidating. But from the moment that she starts talking and just like expressing herself, she's so warm, so welcoming. And I feel like working with someone with you, it only makes sense because both of you are real professionals, but on a personal level, both of you are very like open, like super, like you said,
Yes.
like open to collaboration. It's just like inclusion. So I love that about the
Yeah.
team as a whole.
Yeah, when she gets into the room, she has presence, and you just cannot deny it. And whether you like it or not, Katrina is there. But she's so what you really just need to look at is like she's really kind-hearted, and like she comes into the room with a purpose, and that purpose is it starts off with like being friendly with everyone, and then like okay, it's time to go to work. Like I've gone on photo shoots with her, I've gone on video shoots with her, and every time, literally, like, Miss Cat, like, how are you doing? It's like, oh, relax. We've got you. Like, we're gonna be fine for today. Don't worry about it.
I love that. This is one of the reasons why I really wanted to have this conversation with you because most of the time, the type of guests that I have on my channel are beauty queens, and we talk about, give me the
I'm
crown
building
now.
one right now. I do have my card. I should have worn it.
Well, I'm the permanent beauty queen, in the residence. So, but what I was gonna say is that I really wanted to have the conversation with you because people look at the beauty queens and they see like the final result, right? The final product, let's say, but it takes a village. It takes a whole team to, get them ready and, always present like their best self at all times. And I know that someone like you have this you have access to this side of Katrina that you get to see the preparation, the training, the ups and the lows, and it's just a crazy journey that the audience doesn't get to see very often. So
Yeah. When I first got the invitation, it's like, are you sure? It's like, okay, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to be on the show. I mean, I watch this show, every time you release something, I'm on the premiere, I'm like chatting in there.
in
It's
the
like,
comments.
present.
Oh, we love you for that.
Honor, like honestly, like this opportunity to just be in here, and like I'm really proud of like how this show is like like getting more subscribers like by the day, and then like to be in this
Oh,
show, it's like, oh, thanks, I love
I love
that.
you, Nico. Don't make me cry now on camera.
I don't know.
So, what can you tell us about Katrina's team? Because obviously you're part of it, but how many members would you say that are within her team?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We have a very close knit team. We have for Katrina, and it consists of people that she's known for many years, like back in her Binibining Pilipinas days, and up to much more recently, like we just met them. In terms of the number, I want to make it anonymous in the
Yeah.
meantime, just because like thing, but it's small. It's a handful.
Yes.
Um, Only because we really wanted to keep, the idea that it's a collaboration. So it's filtered by like, we are here for the same goal. It's not to boost anyone's like ego or whatnot. Like we had to filter that. And for us, the team is consists of professionals from different backgrounds. That's what's really inspiring about it. So we have one question about like a styling question or like a makeup question. We already know the person to like get into that, as opposed to like having everyone put in their inputs onto that. We already have one person. We take the input from that person and then the whole team or a small number of team within the team
Yeah.
was actually gonna help. And like, I think this is a better choice, and it has worked so well, honestly. There's ideas that even I would be like, what? Where did that come from? And then like it's genius,
Yeah.
and we're really excited to like show what we have. When the preliminaries and the finals come in. Like we do have like some surprises that we've put in many nights, many days, thoughts, lots of text messages, lots of video calls and all that. And and as much as possible, we kept that's the reason why Katrina said before, like we went independent is because we wanted this sort of control within the team in Katrina's vision. At the end of the day, she still makes the decision saying
Yeah.
like, this is what I want to do. And everyone in the team is like, even if one person disagrees, but majority or even just Katrina is like, I'm choosing this, we respect it. Because as she said, like, this is her journey. This is her last chance.
Mhm.
And if she's gonna do it, she's gonna do it in this way and where she's more comfortable and happy about. And as her best friend and as also like her handler, where like I manage the administrative side of it, and also like managing her personal like emotional state into it.
Yeah.
It is a tight balance within the team. So yeah, that's what I can say about the team. Small, concise, very efficient,
Mm.
professionals from different backgrounds. We're as soon as like we have the opportunity to say who we are and all of us in there, like we're very, very excited to sort of put that as our pasabo reveal who is on the team.
That's amazing. Honestly, it's good sometimes, to keep it tight, to have a small group of people, but people who understand you and want the best for you. And as a vlogger, but also as a fan of Katrina, this is what I get from everything that has been put outside, like that has been released so far. I feel like everything, whether it's the collaborations, the interviews, the photo shoots, the videos, everything is very well planned, but also reflects Katrina. Like it does her justice. So I feel like it's a team of people who come together just to bring the best out of her. So
Yes.
congratulations to all of you. Like you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. It's really it's I'm not gonna lie, like it's challenging. It could be really, really challenging being a small, close team, and your resources are a lot smaller. At the same time, you really have to rely on trust
Mhm.
and your expertise in each other, and that's what we're doing with this direction, and like fine, let's go. And it's like XYZ from there. And then just sort of, oh man, I even just working with it, it's actually very exciting. It's like you're collaborating with like some of the best people like ever like existed.
Amazing. Can you tell me a little bit about how was the process of Katrina deciding that she wanted to try and go for Miss Universe Philippines?
Ah, well, okay. So, you know, as obviously she like knowing her as a friend since like her supranational, like after her like winning first runner up.
Mhm.
Like of course, like we wanted to win, but we believe in redirection and like some things happen for a reason. As like of course, like I'm in competition. I was in competition mode. It's like I want my girl to win. Like of course. But also like I have to limit myself to know that I'm her best friend. And also, I have to support her emotionally
Mhm.
in ways that I can. When she didn't win, she actually took it so gracefully. I didn't speak to her, I think, for a week, until she came back to LA, and then when we met. And I was expecting for her to be much more emotional, but no, she just came in like I had a great time, and
Oh.
and I was like, don't you want to like cry with me or something? So I was like, no, no, I'm like, let's celebrate. Like, I remember I was writing a paper then for for my other master's degree. She's like, um, you sure you want to do your homework now? Because I just came back from Poland. I was like, okay, okay, let's go, let's go celebrate. um, and then I kept sort of like, all right, so at the time, like this was still like Miss Universe Philippines was not a separate entity yet. This
Yes.
was still Binibining Pilipinas. And so the idea of her coming into Miss Universe Philippines, that's already gone. The only option that we had is like, so are we doing Miss USA or what? And I was adamant about it. I'm not gonna lie. Like she knows this too. It's like I was telling her, it's like, you should do Miss USA. Like, we could do Miss California first. Or, we could like maybe like there's another state that we can like try to join, but Miss California is like in our reach, and like we had the opportunity. We have the resources now. Like the team that we have from Supranational, it's like they're still with us, and we're also like still on fire. Like, oh,
Yeah.
can we like do something? And she's like, she had a way of saying no in a way that like it's like in the right direction. It's like I don't know, like that she really want to be in Miss Universe,
Mhm.
but and I felt it too. It's like if I'm gonna represent, like I really want Philippines, and so but there was just no way to do it. Now, okay, so when one time, at her current work, her work with Volkskin, um, Shanik Maceda was there from Miss Universe, and
Yes.
they were doing their tour, and so I would see my girl, like she would send me like, oh my god, Shanik Maceda was there. I don't, I hope I am saying her name properly. Gosh, please don't pass, don't.
Don't get canceled.
Oh my god, I know, but yeah, and she showed me a video of her like doing her runway like on the red carpet, but she was working. She was like, doing social media management then. And I was like, that could be my girl right there, like in the back of my head, I was like, oh yeah. But that opportunity to still be Miss Universe Philippines was still not there. And then she sent me a picture of her with MJ Las Mosa, which was our previous Miss Universe Philippines, and then Rabia Mateo together, like and all three. I was like, my queens, my queens. But and my head, I was like, that could be my girl right there too. Like, but we just, like I said, we don't have the opportunity. Then she called me saying like, Bess. So I just found out that I could join Miss Universe Philippines again. Should we do it? I was like, when do we start? I didn't even say yes or no. I
Was
just
like,
like,
gonna when?
well, yeah, when do we start? What do like, how do we go by it? It doesn't matter. What I told her was this, and like I had to convince her, and I was like, look, and I have this one ace card that I use for her, and I'm gonna go public with it. It's like, if you don't do it, will you regret it?
Mm.
So, it's just silent for a second. It's like, sometimes I don't like you, but but it's true. And I advised her is like, you know, you have your family support, you have your friends support, um, all of us, you have your love support, Robbie, and we're here to do anything that you need to make this happen. This is your one last chance. Next year, you won't be able to join. So you don't, if you want to decide, you need to decide now because the competition is about to start soon. And, we need to go XYZ for this. So like the administrative side of my brain is already like clicking in, like back to like, oh, we're back. We're
Yeah.
back to the game. And yes, we hung up the phone and she told me that, okay, I think I'm flying soon. Like I'm gonna book my flights, I'm gonna submit the application, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, she's determined. She's gonna do it. And then we're gonna like figure out everything that we need to do. She just need to like we didn't know the answers yet then, but we had a gut feeling like, okay, we can do this. We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And we trusted our guts because we just had to go. We really had to like leave ASAP. Otherwise, like as like some of the challenges were already like about to happen and like we needed to fly her as soon as possible. But yeah, um, to add on, like she found out the reason that she could join was actually through Rabia, she was entering her lunch in her story. Like she said, like, she was coming from her lunch break and she wanted to say hi to Rabia. And then Rabia's Mama Heights, she manages like Rabia, and she's like, Katrina, you should join, and she's like, and Katrina's like, Mama, I wish I really can, but I already won before and I just don't have the opportunity. And Rabia enters the conversation, she's like, yeah, you can, as long as like you're a Philippine citizen, you can still join. And she's like,
Oh,
and she called her mom, then she called me, she called everybody else, I think. So
I'm going to the Philippines.
that's exactly that. I was like, I think you need to submit the application first before you. I don't know. I'm already booking my flight. Like, but it says like how much she wanted to like, she wanted to do this. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as like she get the word for it, it's like, okay, let's go. Like, she found her calling again. And I'm like, but didn't you have the same? I asked her the same question. Like, Miss USA is like literally like, you know, offering it right there, like,
Right. It's still an option, right?
not
So
an option, but no, it's this excitement she had when she can enter Miss Universe Philippines was so different than like any other pageants that she was offered to participate in.
yeah. Oh my God. Yes, definitely. I feel like the opportunity to represent your home country, that must be like such an honor, but also like on a personal level, such a sense of accomplishment, to represent your people and give back to the country with, visibility, but also by making their name shine
Yeah,
internationally.
yeah, yeah.
And everyone who's watching this knows that I have a very soft spot for Rabia Mateo. Like she is my queen. Like I got into the entire like Miss Universe Philippines, organization because of Rabia. And like I literally have a t-shirt like this that says like Rabia forever. So to know that Katrina got into the competition because Rabia said so, I was like, oh, I want to cry right
Has a
now.
way. I think Maria, she's a blessing on her own. It's like she has a way of like getting in touch with people. I remember like supporting Rabia, like sentimentally because I saw that text messages she received or she sent back then, and she's like, looking for gigs. And Rabia's Ilongga. My mom's Ilongga too, and so like I can
Uh-huh.
understand her language. So like part of me is like I feel so like I feel connected with her. And even like my mom, like her famous quote of like Basta Ilongga.
Basta Ilongga guapa.
Guapa, yeah, exactly that. I was like Basta Ilongga guapa. And like me and my mom would still say that. Like, just about Ilongga and
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute and such a beautiful memory to have as well. From the moment that Katrina decided that she was going to join Miss Universe Philippines, obviously you said that she was like, I'm going to the Philippines, best, deuces. But what is the first thing that you do as a team? How do you start preparing? Who do you call? Like, what's the first thing that you think of?
Yeah, so I applied what I had from Supranational, and for me, what my biggest take is that you absolutely need trainings. You cannot, as much as like publicity is nice to have, and it boosts your confidence here and there. For me, how do we develop Katrina's quality back again, like
Yeah.
to the highest quality? And so our I developed like a so I actually use Trello, just like a project management tool, like how do I break down stuff. And if if people know, like there's multiple trainings that you need to do. So number one training is fitness training, right? And
Mhm.
that goes from working out and diet and so
Yeah.
adjusting here and there. Then you have hair and makeup training because the girl needs to know how to do her own hair and her own makeup without the help of a stylist
Yeah.
being around. And models are actresses are you already used to that sort of resource, but in pageantry, that's when it's really different and people notice it. And that's skill you need to learn,
Yeah.
from the T, like knowing what brushes to use and all that. And I had to learn all the things, and then I don't even put makeup on myself. Well, sometimes. Thanks, Fenty.
She's not a Maybelline girl.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's that?
What is that?
All right. Thanks, Fenty by Rihanna. And then you have your pasarela training,
Yeah.
and believe it or not, in the outside perspective, like people do catwalk tours, like yeah, you. probably like that's the most time consuming and most energy consuming activity you want to put in to the works. You know, like they need to do that. And then you have other two. So you have Q&A training and you have interview training.
Mhm.
They're two different things. Only because Q&A training is a much more structured sort of like format when you ask somebody a question.
Yeah.
30 seconds to answer it. So basically, like it has to be substantial. It has to have, you know, like a personality at the same time, like sort of like like that punch. That it's like you start it nicely, you end it nicely, you know,
Mhm.
and you sort of like leave you in awe with that. And that's a skill, honestly.
Yeah.
We imagine being on stage and number one, the number one fear is is actually like public speaking. So that moment of like you have 30 seconds to answer something, or even like probably less than that in different formats,
Mhm.
a lot. It's a lot. And you need skills for that. And then you have your interview training, whereas like, it's much more of like a personable thing. You go on media, you go sponsorship, like, like shoots, these things exist. And so knowing what we need to accomplish first, and then we start finding the right resources for it. And so our team is like composed of like those things. And then you have the other parts, whereas like you need what else you need, like other deliverables. So like you need a preliminary gown, you need a finals gown, you need other outfits.
Mhm.
Your styling needs to be like intact.
At all times. Yes.
Exactly, exactly. And honestly, like for me, the last priority for me is styling, but it is so important. Like I'm focusing on like what really counts for
Mhm.
for the judges, and
Yeah.
and so far like we're working with amazing stylists, and like I mean Katrina's outfits are like phenomenal. Like even I messaged her like, girl, damn, you look good.
She looks amazing so far, and we even haven't seen like the preliminaries gown and the finals gown and all of that. But so far, it just shows the amount of work and preparation that went into her journey. And one of the things that I have been able to learn through the past few months, meeting a few beauty queens and talking to them and getting to know them like a little bit on a personal level as well, is that like the audience, like the fans only get to see a part of it, but there's like so much work and preparation and blood and tears that we don't realize. Sometimes we tend to assume that it just takes like a pretty face and a fit body to like join a competition, and it's like
Exactly. And to defend some of the girls too, like the things that they see, they only see the end product of the things that are happening.
yeah.
As her like handler, I'm managing all this administrative stuff. Like people don't realize like her time is actually like her energy I have to manage. Like if she's doing fitness training in the morning, that means like I have to do something lighter in the afternoon where like I can't put fitness training and pass it on to training. But you know, like here's an insider scoop, she did. Like she really wanted to squeeze it in. But practically speaking, like, you know, there's a lot of things that are happening in the background that people don't realize. It's creative teams against creative teams. And I am so amazed of how pageantry has evolved in the Philippines,
Yes.
because it's about time like they're really showcasing arts from different, and I geek out when it comes to like art. My background was actually I was a fundraiser here. I'm a fundraiser still here in LA, and I advocate for the arts. Like I believe in getting our artists like, getting the dollars that they deserve,
Yeah, of
because
course.
like yes, it's collaboration is great here and there, but I also believe that they they can make a life, like out of the passion that they're doing. And now we're seeing like I'm amazed. Like the tourism video was like a statement on its own. It's like the videography that I was seeing in there. Oh my god! I was like, wow, that I am so proud of like Filipinos like doing X amount of work, the videography, the drone shots, I geek out. Like I notice every single detail. Then I listen to the music, like that's another resource right there. Then I look at the designs, like that's a designer right there,
Yeah.
and then everything else that's part of the production. So like the producer must have put a lot of work into this. The direction, the creative direction must have put in a lot of work for this. Hair, makeup, and everything. And when people just notice the girl like right in front of it, it's unfair because literally there's a whole team that's in the back doing all these works.
Yes, absolutely. I have my background is mostly I went to college in film studies and then to university in communication. So when I was looking at I mean, like many like the challenges when they required to come up with like elaborate videos, right? Like the introduction videos and also the pasarela, like the runway challenge, the tourism videos as well. I mean, like from like the film studies background, I was just like amazed because I was like the organization, like the planning that went into all of this. Because people think like it's a 1 minute video, like 2 minute video, whatever, and it's gonna be like, let's do this in like 2 hours. Girl,
Like
that
it's
took
not
like
on
a
your
week.
own. It's like that's why she Katrina's like, we need to fly now. It's like, oh, it's like, what, you need to submit your application.
Yeah, sometimes it takes honestly for like 30 seconds of like a final product or like even like a minute. Sometimes it takes like an entire day of shooting, like 2 days of shooting, so you can keep like the best shots. And they're also trying different locations, different outfit, makeup, the lighting. It's just like, and you have to get the crew together, schedule it. It's just like so crazy.
Exactly. And really props, like to the other ladies that
Yeah.
were part of the competition. Like come on, like Lorenz, like tourism video, love. Vinci, my sentimental favorite when it comes to that. Bukid Non, like, Megan did hers like while she was in Phuket and she worked with a team virtually, like stuff like that. Like it makes you appreciate the amount of work and creativity that goes beyond, despite the challenges that Philippines is going through. And for
Yes.
them to put on like a good show, like guys, like can we take on the moment first to actually appreciate these girls as like work that they put into this and the challenges that they had to go through, you know. Um yeah, like I mean Steffi's like like runway challenge. Like come on, like that was amazing.
I was in awe. I was just like, what do you do after that? Like,
Yeah,
where do you go
like
from that?
like like in the classrooms, like you're about to do your own speech. Like I don't want to go after you.
No,
I
no, no.
don't want to. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go later.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about it. And I mean, hands down to the creative teams, and makes me so proud. Like, yes, it is a competition. I get it,
Yeah.
but I still have appreciation for the arts, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Like, even we're separate. Like, we're in a competition mode. Like, I get it, but like, let me take on a moment to actually give an appreciation for the ladies and for the amount of work and the creative teams that they that happens behind the scene.
Of course. And we're still fans at the end of the day, right?
Exactly,
Even the
exactly.
vloggers, like we are like Judge Judy, like judging everything, but like we are fans. We love the girls and the candidates. And I always
Yeah.
tell them when I meet them, like, if I can do anything to help you, like from whatever it is, like my platform, like sharing stuff, girl, just send me a DM. Like I'm here. So props to all of them. Let's talk a little bit about the Miss Universe Philippines journey so far. So obviously, Katrina is one of the favorite candidates amongst the fans, I feel, in order to get the crown. What do you think that people believe in her so much? What is it about her that people like?
Like I mentioned before, when Katrina enters the room, she has presence. She has this confidence that you
Mhm.
just cannot deny.
Yeah.
And there was a previous interview when a conversation she had was like I want to come into the competition as a dark horse. Like, oh girl, honey, there
No, come on now, Katrina.
is no space for the dark horse anymore. In there. And but she is so humble. You
Yeah.
know, you literally like you cannot believe the amount of experience this woman has gone, gone through. And not to talk about like professionally, but in her personal like stance, like, like and she's vocal about this, like she was homeless once and she was younger. And we're not trying to exploit that. And Katrina doesn't beg for like, oh, feel sorry for me for no. Like
Yeah.
I for her, it's like this happened to me, here's what I did. And I'm gonna keep proving to everyone that I can do this. without saying the words she wants to prove it. She just does it. And it's inspiring. Like, don't you want to like, rally speech, give a rally speech or something? Like, no, no, let's go. Let's go. Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of gravity that she brings into the table is her humility and her experience and then that presence that you just cannot deny. She has that exuding confidence that I've never experienced with anyone before. Like I'm trying as still like up to this day, I've still spaced myself out as her professional like right hand at the same time as her best friend. I know her capabilities, as a professional and what she can bring to the table. And literally I challenge her sometimes. Like I every once in a while, like I'll trade with her. And I'm amazed, like sometimes like I'll just like there's a prompt. She like she just reads it for a second and she'll go at it. And like, did you memorize that or something? And she's just like naturally, so well spoken and looking poised like an actual queen. And just can't deny that.
Yes, absolutely. This, what you were mentioning about Katrina, everything that she has been able to accomplish in like the past few years, and everything that she has done recently, and also the fact, like you were saying, that she was homeless at some point. That was one of the things that I touched during my interview with her. And to be honest, sometimes there are certain things that when you're gonna talk about during an interview, I honestly really, really think about how I'm going to bring the topic, because I want to be like, I want to have access to the information and present it to the audience, but I also want to be sensitive. Like I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable or anything. And what I liked about Katrina is that she talked about it like in such an inspirational way, in the sense that I went through this, I was able to overcome it, and I was able to move on and do this and this and this. And to me, what that says is that it's really inspiring. It's a story of resilience. I think of people watching Katrina, like the little girls and little boys who look up to her and would like to accomplish similar things in life. And this is a message that it doesn't matter what the situation is right now. If you work hard, if you put the effort, you can make it too. And that's why I love her, not only for who she is as a person, but for what she represents.
Exactly. And I identify with her, like a little bit of like into that experience that she has. Like it's not a pity party for her.
Mm.
And I'm also like I have my own struggles. Like I'm a first generation immigrant, and I've managed like I'm working on my fourth college degree now, and I self supported myself from that. And at one point when I was like getting my first degree, I remember quitting my job. I was working in retail. And like I had a car accident and I was like, like literally like my bones are broken
Oh my
somehow.
god.
Yeah. And I was looking for coins, trying to like, just so I can take the bus to go to school. And I didn't pay my tuition then. I didn't come from like an Alta family, but I was raised properly by my parents and like to self-support myself. And fast forward, I got my associates in communication. I got my BA in public relations. I got my MS in project management. I got my PMP. Flexing all of that is not because I'm looking for a recognition, but because I want people to know that you can come from nothing
Yes.
from one. And this is the same statement with Katrina. And like, let me validate my girl here for a second. Like,
Yeah, go, you go.
let's take a moment to appreciate what she has been saying this entire time. And let me put it on the layout in here because when she was younger, she experienced homelessness, but she doesn't look for a pity party. She rose from that and like started, being much more an advocate and like started really supporting like her community in her own ways. When she won Binibining Pilipinas tourism and she did not compete. That she could have been emotional about it. But no, from her story, which she said, like, okay, my competition is no longer happening. This is Janine is competing. Let's go. What do we need? XYZ. So, and that's Katrina, like XYZ, let's do this. And she was there. She was 100% supportive. Although, like, being her supporter is like, but we want you to go. No, no. This is the new redirection now.
Yeah.
When she placed first runner up at Supranational, I was expecting her to like fall out in my shoulders and whatnot. It's just like I'm here to celebrate, and like she, for some reason, she knew that she was getting redirected to something greater,
Yeah.
and this might be it. You know, like every time, like she trips or falls down, she knows how to gracefully go back up. And she's not looking to exploit that moment. Like, no, I fell. Like, I'm gonna, like, I want people to notice me. No, no, no. She wants people to know how she rose back up and what was her mentality from there. She doesn't say it unless I'm speaking on her behalf of like, I
Yeah.
know we notice it, like we really do. And there's probably the reason why people that she has worked with in the past still up to this day support her, messaging her, and really trying to be part of her journey in their own ways. And it doesn't go unnoticed at all. So, and I just want to say for everyone that's been part of that, it's like, thank you. Like all those messages, like I feel it for her, and it's really heartfelt. Like, really is heartfelt.
Yes. Honestly, mic drop. Give her a crown.
should I put it on?
I still owe a crown to Rabia Mateo. I was like, when she was in Miss Universe, I was like, I'll get you a crown myself, girl. And everyone's would like reminded me like 3 months after. They're like, where's the crown? I'm not gonna promise you anything, Nick, or people are gonna remind me.
Oh, it's already here. Hold on, let's see. Remember, I keep notes.
Right. So talking about Katrina and everything that we have said, right? She has like this undeniable presence. People gravitate towards her, but also you as a friend have access to, a side of her that the audience, even like people like myself, don't get to see, which is her vulnerable side. And obviously, with everything that comes with the competition, like the pressure, the expectation, there comes a lot of love, but there also comes a lot of bashing as well. How does Katrina balance that, and how does she stays focused and, let's say, like confident to protect her mindset, I mean?
It's her always her number one priority. And normally we start our day with a catch up, with like a daily update, what happened yesterday, what we're doing today. And so that's how we start our morning. Sometimes we're like on the video call. We don't even want to show our faces. I'm like, girl, I need my coffee still. So it's just like a dark screen.
Good
Like,
morning, Bess.
good morning, Beth. No, seriously, that's how it is. But like her day usually starts off like depending on like what I try to let her sleep in a little bit. And so like I literally like, can you like not call me until like 8 in the morning at your time, although like you're probably gonna be up at like 6 in the morning, because I want her, it's important to have a strong mindset and a healthy mindset coming here. You cannot bombard yourself into this. And that's one part of like the job that I'm doing, is like making sure like she's balanced in all aspects, like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like she is balanced, in all these aspects. So we start off our day with like a daily update. And then we go on like, okay, here's what our like priority list for today. So this is what's gonna happen today. And then like anything that's like on the back burner, as I call it. So like let's say like, we're planning for something that's gonna happen in 3 days from now. I need your input now. So like I'm gonna ask her those questions. They're like, okay, I'm gonna work on this, I'm gonna work on that. And so I'm her right brain in a lot of ways. And also like, I help her decide. She makes a decision. So I want to put that clear and out there. Like, I don't make the decision for Katrina.
Yeah.
I help her make her decision. And she just confides with me if this is the right decision. And sometimes, you know what, we don't agree all the time. That's the reality of it. It's her, but it is her journey. And I'm so, so, so proud that she is standing her ground when it comes to that. Although, like, it's not me walking on stage, it's her walking on stage. So I highly respect her, and also like the ladies who's like puts in a lot of work in there. In terms of like any outside noises, we really care more for what adds value to what we need to accomplish
Right.
from today or the following days. If they're just like, you know, unnecessary tasks that we cannot work on, like it's just gonna be like really difficult. And that's the part that I need to like stand my ground and like, hey, sorry, like, we've declined many interviews in the past. And as much as like it really does like in a way, like I feel so bad, Bess. Like I was like I really want it's like I know, but we have to look at our priority list right now. And given the amount of time that we have, we just have to like keep prioritizing what we have. And that's she keeps on focused, laser focused on the task that she needs to accomplish and what adds on, and really keep on going forward from one and present our best every time like it's happening. So yeah, that's
I think that's the right mindset. I mean, obviously, it's no secret that although Katrina is in the competition and we see her at this like beautiful, like Amazon goddess, badass.
yeah.
But she's also human. She's also a human being, and sometimes being in the public eye can be very challenging because you're dealing with not only like everything that's going out, during the competition, like fans' opinions and bashers, but then you also have like your personal life that comes, and plays and can have an impact on everything that's going on. So
Katrina is like she's not very, although like she's a very like public person and whatnot, but there is a lot of things that people don't know like is happening behind the scenes.
yeah,
She's maintaining a very private personal life.
yeah,
Only the thing that she can see, I mean, you can see, like people can see it is what she's allowing. But honestly, like there are so many things mm, that we need to like look out for as like as a human being, as a person. We still
yeah.
have family, we still have friends that like we have to maintain relationships with in a way that you know we make sure that Katrina's like mindset is not being like deferred to it. But honestly, like her family, her friends are like the sweetest thing. Like they're so supportive. They're so supportive, and like and it gives her like every time we do our daily checkup, like sometimes like, oh my she's so sweet. She like sent me this message and this and that. I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like like she really appreciates like every like positive vibes prayers that she really gets. And so thank you for everyone that sometimes like even like would message her cousins so like I need your extra boost for today.
Oh, cute.
And she knows anyway. So I'll just wait. Like, sorry, I just messaged your cousin because like I can boost you up, but I know these people can boost you up better than I can right now.
Everyone watching this, please go and send Katrina some love. Tell her that you come from this video and send Nico some love too. Love for everyone.
Love for everyone, honestly, honestly.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about everything that has been presented to the fans in
Mm,
the competition. So I know that there is always a message or like a reference in everything that Katrina does, especially with some of the photo shoots that have been released, the outfits, even like uh, the selection of like the accessories and everything. So fashion wise, can you mention one of Katrina's I would say like influence? And I know that she recently released a photo shoot about this. So what can you tell us about it?
So recently released our 100K subscriber follower on
Follow
Instagram,
us.
and which are Lola Betty's recreated shoot. And that was a passion project that we've had when we first started our journey.
Yeah.
And Lola, for those who don't know, Lola Betty is Katrina's grandma, and she plays a very important role in her life and as her number one inspiration. And so when we were, doing our strategic talking, like how we're gonna approach the competition, of course, like everyone, like it's a competition,
Yes.
and the best thing you want to do is like have a strategic, but also like we need to find an inspiration
Mhm.
somehow. And so when we asked Katrina, her first thing that she's like, my Lola is like my biggest inspiration in life. And like she talked about her grandmother and like how she's very fashionable. She's like, whenever they take the pictures, they make sure like she's in like the good side of the photos. But also like she's so funny and she's like a fighter and like she has her feisty side. Like I was like, oh Lola, like And I met her cousins before, and and I can see how much love her family like gives into their grandmother. And sadly, she passed away a couple of years ago, and we actually went to the Philippines to commemorate. Well, I didn't go with them, but I sort of like just tagged along to see her
Yeah,
cousin in there. But that's how much love that her family has for her grandmother. But I was really inspired by close family ties that Katrina has with her family, and also, with her connection with her grandmother.
mhm,
And I love the idea of roots, like, and how that will determine the rest of the journey for you. And she's
yeah,
so rooted. And as we've talked about earlier, like she's always like she bounces back up. And she never forgets her roots. So we wanted to take on all of that in all aspects. From her speeches, from her interviews, and like from her styling. There's that, especially the styling. We really wanted to we wanted to show that side of her in different translation in every
yeah,
way. And honestly, like we've been so happy and so successful. I feel like we've been so successful because our
yeah.
girl, she's looking snatched in some of these photos. I'm like, oh, oh, we're talking about roots. Okay.
Yeah, okay, Roots.
Runway right here. You know what I mean? And she's so happy. Like she's working with different people from different backgrounds, and like always trying to give back in that way. Like we did her Lola Betty recreated photo shoot, and so we've gotten a lot of offers before for fashion design, and we because we're already stuck with like our close knit team. We want to be careful as well of like, we don't want to burn bridges from people or like put empty promises that we want to design with you, and then like all of a sudden it's not gonna work out. Like the reality of that, it's happened before. We don't want that,
Right.
and that's like uh, something that we really wanted to avoid. And so we got these messages from two designers, and one of them is Raymond Pumpa. So I hope you're watching. And like so heartfelt message saying like, "Hi, I'm a fan. I'm from Davao. I was wondering if I can send you like one piece of clothing that you can wear for your dailies, like during your competition. Like during like the pandemic. As a small business owner, the pandemic has hit us. So anything can help. Like literally,
Mhm.
just." And she screenshot this, sent it to me. I was like, well, girl, like you already know what my answer is, but at the same time, like I don't make the decision for you. You know what I mean? Like, and and so immediately like we had this idea of a recreated like suit, and we were looking for someone to actually do it for us. And I think this was the sign that we needed. And then we got another message from Mark Palabrica, who is the owner of Atenini, and same message of like saying that my queens, the mananahi is the seamstresses the, of Iloilo in the mountains of Iloilo,
Oh,
and they do like this sustainable like fashion, and then my heart goes like, okay, yeah, like absolutely. And so it just kind of like combined here and there, and I had this idea of like I wanted to recreate a photo shoot for her, um and to inspire her, like to the point of like Arana really encapsulate where we are in terms of like what we wanted to present out there to the public. And you know and thankfully like the the suit fits so well, the bag fits so well, the production team, the glam team, like it was so heartfelt. And then we like these photos that we've gotten are like so elegant. It's so inspiring. There's this, and then the family alone was like, they said they were in tears just to hear that. I was like, oh, like, well,
I
I'm
know.
so happy because we really wanted to like put this out there, her story and like her relationship and her connection with her grandmother. Yeah, and that was her first. The story was like the grandma was flying to San Francisco for the first time in her life, and like she's leaving her family behind for a second, but to come back for them again. And it's so
Oh,
touching. And a lot of Filipinos, and like even for me, like I can relate to that
yeah.
story.
That's what I was gonna tell you. Actually, is that it's really the little details, but also like the overall message. On a personal level for Katrina, this is, I mean, extremely, it's her Lola, right? So it's a tribute to someone that it's dear and close to her heart. But also when you look at it on a larger scale, there's like this entire, I feel like it's an entire narrative that people from the Philippines, but also like worldwide can relate to this. Immigrants from all over the world. And it's just such a beautiful way of paying like of having this tribute to your grandmother, um, who seemed to be like such an empowered woman, but doing it on such a big scale, like on the biggest national beauty pageant. That was just like so. And I know that this photo shoot like made headlines. This was on all over the news. So
Oh, yes, it did. And my gosh, like it was on magazines, it was
yeah.
on like newspapers, it was like major news networks, it was reshared multiple times on YouTube.
Yes.
Like when, like I said, when we came into the competition with a small team, like we didn't know how much like traction we are gonna get, and we just wanted to focus on like quality work that we're gonna put in and getting the amount of support, the attention that we're getting. Like it's so heartwarming. It really is. Like I'm geeking out and like because I was like, oh my gosh, like did they just like repost that? It was like, oh girl, like I was a creative director for it.
You did that. You did that.
and, and,
Yes. Honestly,
and
congratulations for such an amazing, amazing work. Let's talk about the other photo shoot, which is honestly one of my favorites for obvious reasons. The Havana Nights inspired photo
yes.
shoot. Oh my God. As a Cuban, I mean, when I just like saw the pictures, I was like freaking out because she looks stunning. But it feels like so international in the sense that you still get like the Filipina essence, right? That flavor, it's still there, but it also feels like, I don't know, as a Cuban, I could relate to it, and I'm sure that a lot of Latinos could relate to it. And from any side of the world that you look at it, it just feels like so elevated. What was the process for this one in particular?
So this one was the creative director for this one was actually Katrina's hair and makeup like stylist.
Oh, nice.
Makeup Mama Shello, and she has played a large part in like being part of our journey for this. And she had this idea for a photo shoot, like to do like a Habana night, and they sent me like the pegs and like the mood board. I was like, 100%. Let's go. And you know, I had expectations. When the moment I saw like the photos, I'm like, oh my god, what? I was like, I didn't expect this, and and the the thing that we wanted to like focus on was like, so we wanted to like showcase her vibrant side, and also at the same time like her best Filipina traits that she like embodies. And so we really at the moment right now is like we have one photo out, and like it's a photo series. So there's multiple photos that are coming up next. And part of the topic too is to talk about sustainable fashion.
Yeah.
And we have Atin Ini was part of this photo shoot again. So we have that pineapple bag that was weaved, and we're getting the messages from Atin Ini and how like thankful the seamstresses he calls it the queens of Iloilo, of the queens of the Atin Ini like are so happy that they're getting like the attention that they've been wanting. And they're like, oh, like we're so happy to be part of that journey for them. And it really just encapsulates everything, like going back to the Lola Betty, like this is another take on it. It's like roots. There's roots in it, like instilled in this, but also like it's progressive. It's
Yeah.
moving forward to something that is challenging.
Mhm.
At the same time, like Katrina embodies a phenomenal woman, like someone, not in a cookie cutter box or like in a mold of how women should be and should act. And, she's vibrant. She's a fighter. She's, she exudes like sultry, and naturally she does. We can't, like I said, she has this presence of like you just cannot deny when you
Yes.
come into the room, and that's something that so inspiring when you even like take photos with her. And we're about to release some BTS, you guys. So
Oh,
you'll see like some fun side of the photo shoot. Like I'm so excited like to show. But yeah, it was just a really creative take from Mama Shello, and you know, taking on like the roots and like the fashion sustainability into like this one giant photo series that we're releasing. So yeah.
that's so amazing. And I know that, for the designers and the people involved in the photo shoot, especially for the smaller one, this is like a big thing, right? That's what I like about Katrina is that right now, I mean, Katrina is one of the fan favorites within the competition. She has like this huge platform. Like you were saying, she just hit like 100,000 K, like 100,000 followers on Instagram. And like she's still giving back to like small creators. She's still, collaborating, I feel like, with people of all sizes. And that's what really matters. I remember in the very early stages of the competition when the top 100 was announced, there was like this, I think it was like a small group of people who was not necessarily rooting for her because they thought that, she represented the US before and this and that. Now you're coming to the Philippines. But for me, sometimes, a lot of people were wondering like, how do you address this, claims? And that's something that I actually asked her during my interview. And I believe that sometimes actions speak louder than words. And everything that she has done during this competition just elevates the Philippines. But not only like the country, but also like the people and the culture and the references. And that's what really matters, like including your culture and carrying it no matter where you go, no matter what you do, always carrying that legacy and that love, that appreciation. For me, that is the essence of Katrina. So I'm just like so happy to see her. I mean, obviously I'm a big fan, but like as a friend, as everything, I just see everything that she has been able to accomplish and the way that she has done it so gracefully. It's just like chef's kiss.
So I'm proud that you know I'm part of her. Like she's chosen me to like play a large role in her journey. Like you know, as much as like I'm also like I'm a fan of her, but also like she's my best friend. But also like we want to win. You know, like like it is a competition at the end of the day, and you know I'm here to like be part of her journey and like really you know put her best self out there, and I hope it's enough to really help us like take home the crown and bring home the crown for the Philippines. So that's the goal. That's like that's the goal that our creative team has. Like we share that same goal for everyone, and so is like I'm sure everyone else in the competition too shares that same goal as everybody else. We want to take the glory back to the Philippines, and
Yeah.
you know, and her for Katrina's take is like not to forget her roots. It's so inspiring. Like you know when you're rooted, you just and you're having fun at the same time. Like yeah, I reread the comments like she's overconfident. Like, well, she's having a great time. You know, she is the modern day Gabriela Silang, which
Yeah.
is like the national hero of like she steps out of the mold. You know, if you're expecting her to be like prim and proper, she can. She can. There she has the capability of doing so. But well, does she have a very like undeniable presence and personality? Like, yeah, that too. She has that. She embodies what a woman could and should be, you know, like not even should be, could be. Like that's you know, the possibilities of what she can represent is so endless. And even like and it delivers like her through her photo shoots, her video shoots. We've seen her in interviews, we've seen her in front of the screen, we've seen her like
Yeah.
impromptu do this, present this product. Like, come on. You just what else can
She's a
you
professional.
she and then she's learning how to cook. Like, oh come on, like that's so fair, you know?
Yeah, she deserves all the props, all everything.
Yeah.
This one is for the fans, this question, because obviously, just like you and I, we are fans and we're super like supportive of Katrina and other contestants as well. Um, there's like fan bases out there that are really intense and rooting for the candidate, rightfully so, right? But sometimes we tend to have this narrative of like putting like one candidate against another one. How does Katrina feel about this, or at least like let's not talk on behalf of Katrina, but like as a team, how do you feel about this?
You know, I it, to compare one candidate to another, it's
Mhm.
almost like it's natural, but that shouldn't be, because honestly, knowing Katrina and when I talk to her, like she is about like building relationships, about like the girls that she was with back at Supranational. Like I would hear her stories with her sisters, what they did for the day, and like she's just having a great time. And the narrative that I get from Katrina when she talks to me on the phone, like a video call, and like she updates me about her day, and like she's having a great time, and then I monitor her brand, right? Or I'm her brand manager at the same time. So I read comments, I watch YouTube videos. My gosh, like I could be watching Netflix, but instead I choose to like watch her videos that she's
How do
recently.
I get a job like this? Wait, where do I apply?
You can. You want it? Here's an application. You can take it. But and fans are like getting these assumptions that these girls are like gnawing each other and like cat fighting within like the bubbles. Like I don't think you're getting the right sense of it. And this is coming from someone who has been in that bubble with her sisters. That narrative of like sisterhood, it's true. It really is true. So when the fans start to act, like comparing them, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a competition. You're supporting one candidate to another. But to put in negative comments in the middle of that to make them fight with each other,
Yeah.
or you know what some fans represent doesn't represent some of the girls.
Yeah.
Honestly, we have some of the girls, and I'm not going to name names, but we have some of the girls who don't even speak for uh for their fans. They're just saying like, like I that's not me, that's not me at all. And the fans are like speaking on behalf of them, and like to make them look bad,
Yeah.
but we need to be more supportive of each other. I get it, it's a
Right.
competition. Like if I want to be in a competition too, like if sometimes like I want to say something, but like
Yeah.
we're above and beyond that,
Yeah.
as Michelle Obama has put before. Like, like when they go high and when they go low, we go high.
We go
You know,
lie.
bullying, like
When they go low, we go low. No, just kidding.
that's McDonald's.
That's just me. That's just me, though.
When the prices go low, McDonald's, then we go low.
No, but honestly, like you were saying, it is a competition, and at the end of the day, there's one crown. Someone has to win, but it is also a sisterhood. Sometimes it's a little contradictory. I see like fans fighting each other on like the comment section or whatever, but then you see
But
like
also,
videos of them together and like having a good time and laughing, giving hugs, and like someone posts something and they comment, they leave like nice comments in love, and then the fans are like, no, but like,
yeah, exactly. And I get it. It's easy to write a comment. It takes 10 seconds. I always tell this to like the fan bases that I have, like, I'm sort of their leader in
yeah,
our group chats. And it takes 10 seconds to write a comment. It takes a lot longer to build a queen. To
yes,
make it takes a lot longer than that. And for fans that are, just looking for something to like check the armor of the other candidates, like it's not going to help the candidate at all. If anything, it makes the candidate that you're supporting like put at a disadvantage, because you're putting them in a stress that they don't need. They
mhm,
don't represent that. They're a lot. Actually, all of these girls, like apparently, like talk to Katrina, it's like they're so nice. They're like bonding. They're talking to each other. They're supporting each other. They're borrowing makeup. They're borrowing dresses. Like they really are there to help each other. It's not to sabotage like all these like gnawing and like negative things. They don't even say it themselves, and then the fans are assuming for them. And then that's my take on the
yeah,
fans. And as a team, we don't acknowledge like there's negativity, but we have more control of what we can spread, and that is positivity. And I
yeah,
tell the fans, and like, you could comment on other girls and actually support them and show appreciation to them, because there are a lot of work that happens with them. And then if you want to take it in to say like, hey, I'm from Team Katrina, and then like I really love this. I would love from Team Katrina, and I love seeing that. And then we see it too in our pages, like, oh, I'm so and so supporter, and I'm so happy that this like you're my sentimental favorite. Oh, like this is so good, love from like team this. And I think that's a much more positive vibe. Like, let's not go low and like trying to like bash one another, because honestly, that's not us. Especially Team Katrina. We always say, she even says it herself. And we say it with love, 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 lang. So it's like love, 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 love only.
Oh, but I really like what you said about sometimes, the fans getting like too much into it and sometimes creating like problems that are not even there for the candidate. Like the candidate get dragged into a situation that they have nothing to do with. They never said anything, they never, verbalize anything at all, but suddenly they have to explain and justify something that they have no participation in it. So I like this, this perspective that the team has and that the mentality that Katrina has, and I know that most candidates have as well. I've gotten like very good vibes from everyone, and it's just all love and appreciation, and they're all here obviously for the same thing, so they all want that crown, but we shouldn't like discredit them or try to put like one on top of the other, like rank them and be like, okay, this is one is more deserving than the other. Of course we're going to have favorites and we're going to have our bets, but respectfully so, right? And without um trying to take anyone down.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that
Exactly.
this has been said before. It's something that has been, put up there, but something that is important for Katrina is winning this as a fair game, and just being, having that sense of, I did this and I got this crown because it was meant for me or because I deserve it and I worked for it. um how do you feel about this as a team? Because obviously you have to plan a strategy and come up with a plan, so everything is organized in advance, but how as a team you stay, um you still consider that idea of a fair game within your strategy?
Absolutely. We have integrity, and that's one thing I value as a person. And like everything that I stood for my entire life, I won't do work unless like it doesn't resonate with me philosophically or like as a person. It,
Yes.
it's benefiting. It's like backward benefits. It doesn't sit well with me. I won't work with it. And me being in, with the team, with the background that I present, with the amount of experience I've had with Katrina, should also like add on to what Katrina's team is all about. You know, and we wanted this journey, and Katrina wanted this journey in her own way.
Yes.
Now, there's lots of politics. It's undeniable. They exist in there. We don't want to burn any bridges.
Yes.
We don't want to make empty promises with people. We want to put forward who Katrina is and what she embodies. You
Mhm.
know, she has undeniable presence. We could easily just tap into the popularity contest and like publicity contest in terms of that. But we wanted to focus is quality of what she can present on stage. That's really our strategy. And it just trickles down from there. Like what I mentioned, the trainings that we've done, the things that we've had to work on designs, the collaboration that we've had to work on with the photo shoots here and there. We're doing it in a way that it goes back to our strategy of like staying rooted,
Yeah.
staying, with our inspirations. And it's a competition, I get it, but we want this journey to be so memorable for everyone that has been part of it. For me personally, like I am so proud to be doing this for Katrina, and I'm doing everything that I can, for my girl, obviously, for the team. At the same time, we are given the opportunity. We're ready to take it back home.
Yeah.
Like we're there. Like we're gonna take on the experience that we've accumulated for years. Not just mine, Katrina's experience, the team's experience. They've accumulated for so many years for that one goal when
Yeah.
we go, if we go to this
Yeah.
round. And so we're hoping that our strategy game is like fair game. and we want to show our best selves being an independent team. We're doing it much more of a collaboration rather than like here's one direction that we're all going to do. Like, no, we everybody has their own separate input to it, with Katrina's like approval and decision making in
Yes.
the, in the front.
Everyone should be proud, the entire team, because regardless of the outcome of the competition, obviously, because we don't know yet, but
Yeah,
regardless of what happened, everyone should be so proud because this has been so beautifully, like everything that has been presented, it's just like so beautiful, but also like done so gracefully. So, with a lot of, attention to detail, but also very respectfully to everyone, the culture, the people, and just, I don't know. I'm in awe. I'm in awe.
I'm just so happy that we were like when we were at Supra back then, we were a very, very small team. Our fan base was so small, but we didn't let that deter us. Like we have much more support now than ever we've experienced before. So we're kind of like, you sure? Like, oh, that's very kind. Like, like my heart. And then sometimes like I know their name. I'm like, part of me is like, okay, face on, don't freak out. I'm just like, oh, hi, how are you?
But,
So I'm just like, oh, I know you, but like, I'm not gonna say anything right now. Like, I'm gonna reserve this. Be like, oh my god, I'm such a fan, by the way. Like,
I'll keep it
that's
for
why, like,
later.
and like, and,
Fangirling inside.
and then it's funny because sometimes, like the people that we work for, they're like, oh my god, we're such fan of you. Like, oh my god, I heard such fan of you. I was like, well, not me, but more like Katrina. I was like, I'm such a fan. I didn't want to approach you because like you look so like intimidated. Just,
Absolutely. So I have two more questions for you, Nico. And for this ones, I'm gonna tap into your more of a personal, like friend side of things. Um, And the purpose of the interview, of course, was not to have you speak on behalf of Katrina, because I already had an interview with Katrina, but I really want to know, like, from your perspective, right? So, as a friend, as someone who has worked with her, as a Filipino yourself as well, what would it mean for you to see her win the crown, the title, and be able to represent the Philippines internationally?
yeah. You know, I worked with her for so many years now. It's like I'm getting emotional with this because like it means a lot. Um, Katrina represents a part of me that I fought for my entire life as well. Like growing up myself, like yeah, I had my own battles of what I do in life, and from being body shamed to be ashamed of my skin. And I wanted to like relay a story real quick when like one time I was like sending Katrina a photo. I was like, which one should I pick? Like, should I do this one or should I do this one? And she picked this one photo, and I responded. I was like, oh, I look dark in there. She's like, what? You have beautiful skin. Like, you should pick that. And coming from a beauty queen who embodies that, I was like, what, you're right. I look good in,
You
in,
look.
in that like photo. And ever since then, that changed me. Well, I realized that maybe I'm not the only one who felt that way. And she represents Filipinos in all shapes and all colors. And wherever your whatever your past was, whoever you are, you could achieve bigger things in life. I realized myself like I'll never be a beauty queen myself. I'll never be in the Olympics. I love to play volleyball, but I don't think I could like be in the like international competition in there. But I've helped Katrina represented the country in the international stage. And that was like my Olympics. What I was good at is was there. And that's just not me. That's the creative team that is part of Katrina's journey. The people that believe in her, her family represents that entire thing. So yes, it is one crown, but a little bit of that molecule in that crown represents someone, and it resonates with someone.
Yeah.
And for her to win that, we I feel like we've won ourselves. We wanted, and for Katrina to speak on her behalf, she really wants to make her country proud. She's so proud of her roots. She embodies that every time she talks, every time she comes in. She comes in not, with a presence because she's not overconfident, because she is confident. She she has gone through so many things in her life that she deserves to be confident, and she knows how to be confident.
Yeah.
She, we need to look at her and imagine if we can take that into the international stage, represent a Filipina that many of us identify with. That bullied little part of me that became like someone for her to fight with her. That in itself is a victory. And if we have, and then knowing me personally myself, and like I I want, like, I'm competitive. We want to win. We didn't come into the competition not just to not be to compete. We want to present our best selves because we earned to be the best.
Mhm. Oh, thank you so much, Nico. You made me emotional. Honestly, I don't want to cry though. I never cry on camera. I cannot.
Thank you for asking that question, because it reverts back to like why I do this. And sometimes like I get lost in translation with like the amount of work that I need to do um into the competition, and also like being her friend as well. And it- but to tap into like what really inspires you as a person, for me, like, thank you for asking that, like, and then being able to give them that platform of
Oh,
it's, yeah.
this is a safe space, and thank you for being so so honest. Now, the very last question. Substance. Come on now.
And let's go.
Here on this channel, we're all about manifesting things, right? We're manifesting, we're putting it out there into the universe. Katrina is gonna win this crown, okay? We're on this mindset.
Yes, we're in that mindset, manifesting. We believe in it.
Manifesting it. I mean, it's gonna happen. Compared to previous winners, think of like as far as you want to go back. What is something about Katrina that she can bring to the table that makes her unique, that sets her apart from other winners?
I've and like I said before, she's has gone through so much in her life, coming from being homeless to not being to winning Binibini Filipinas and never having the opportunity to actually compete and wearing the Philippine sash for years, not knowing that she thought she could never wear the Philippine sash, but she was able to represent that with Supranational USA. But she presented herself as a Filipino woman, finishing as first runner-up. Katrina is, for me, the relentless queen, the one who refuses to give up.
Oh,
You tell her no, but when she knows that there's an opportunity to do it, she will do it. And that someone from who has experience, but also has the grit, the tenacity, and the resilience to combat any challenges. As we can see now, we have fans fighting fast. We have the competition, and Miss Universe Philippines organization has done so well in like presenting these challenges and actually really challenging these women, not just the girls, but the creative teams behind. And to put that energy in there, stay poised, stay elegant and confident, and look like she's having fun, and she is having fun. That's something that she brings into the table. She can compete, and people have said themselves, if is she ready for international stage? 100%. We are ready for that. Our girl is ready for it. Our team is ready for it. And the Miss Universe Philippines organization, I'm sure they're ready to take on the next candidate in there, and we're gonna bring it home. That's what she can bring. Let we the more we support her, like I said, she reads these messages, staying positive, sending prayers. She loves, hearing that people pray for her. Um, we we can do it. we're manifesting. You know, this is a safe, like a safe zone. I don't want to get misquoted on this or whatnot, but
Yes.
this is us manifesting, and it's
Yes.
like I'm her handler for a reason.
You made choices.
Choices. Hold on. Mm.
Amazing. Thank you, Nico. Thank you so much on a personal level. Because you've been so open during this interview. Honestly, I was hoping that it wouldn't feel like too much of a Q&A type of interview. I just wanted to for people to hear it from someone that is close to her, but also that knows not just for Katrina, but for someone who sees like the behind the scenes of a beauty queen and the struggles, the things that they go through, and the extent, like sometimes like all the efforts that they have to do to make this happen. And I'm just like beyond satisfied with the way that this
Oh,
happened.
this
Yes.
thank you so much, Louise. You know, I am a fan of you from day one. And, you know, our first interaction over the emails, you've been so kind and so graceful. You know, even interviewing Katrina, I was like, you were freaking out. We were freaking out. We're all freaking out. So we're just like, okay, let's just. And I was also freaking out. I was like, okay, let's set this up now. Let's all make it.
No,
But you,
no,
Queens. I love listening to your talk show, and like, you know, the way you engage with them. It really, even now I experienced it myself, like wow, it really dives you in deeper into the like to the journey, the inspirations, and like being able to like vocalize that and like put it in a public perspective. That's an amazing feeling. So I hope you know that you're doing great things for everyone
thank
here
you. Thank
too.
you. You know how much I love our girl, you know how much I love you, and I hope to meet you soon. Come to Montreal. Let's
Oh well, we'll see you there. Don't worry.
it's gonna happen. And also for everyone watching us, guys, thank you so much for staying with us until the end of the interview. It's been a long one, but honestly, I wouldn't take like a second out of it because I just loved it. And whoever that you're rooting for, it doesn't matter whether it's Katrina, whether it's another candidate, just go and show some love, show some support, shed some light. Sometimes it's very challenging everything that they're doing, and although it's a very exciting journey, it's a big challenge. So all the love and support that you can send their way is always welcome. So
Oh,
thank
thank
you. Thank you, everyone.
you so much. And I just want to add, like, you know, just to keep supporting Katrina and send her positive vibes. And at the same time, don't forget to vote for our girl, the Lazada app. You know, let's
Yes.
as much as we can. Let's put our 5 votes in there. I know it might be costly to add more. If you
Yes.
can't, don't worry. The free 5 votes, it helps. It counts. But if you want to do more, please, that helps the organization to put on a really amazing show. And I want to commend the Miss Universe Philippines organization for really trying to put in a great show for everyone. And you know, I'm so excited to see our girl like being on the camera on the bigger stage and see like what we've been working on for months now for Katrina's journey to really be in there. This has been almost 10 years in the making, and like I hope you're all just as excited to really see this whole journey for her, how it unfolds and manifesting that it's gonna bring us the crown, and then bring home the fifth crown back to the Philippines.
Yes. Come on, Team Papaya.
Team Papaya, Team Caron, Team Isaw, Team Buko Juice. What is it now? Team Chocolate Cake?
Not this. Come on, Bez.
Come on, Beth. Laban lang mga Beth. Laban.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching the show and the interview. I will see you soon with more interviews, more fun content. Until then, please stay safe, take care of one another, and sending you all my kisses. Mwah. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye. Thank you.